Alright, hi year 9s, I'm going to go over some stuff for your trig test tomorrow, and hopefully it's helpful for you. I know I'm not your actual teacher, but I'm hoping that this will help in some way, shape or form. Now this is a video, so you can rewatch it as many times as you would like. That's it. Good luck with tomorrow. Hopefully you can pass. Alright, so this here is a triangle. I'm sure you can all see it's a right angle triangle. So the first thing you need to do whenever it comes to trigonomic ratios is labeling your triangle. Now you always label from this unknown angle here, or if it tells you from an angle that's given to you, from that angle there. Now, as you all know, this long side here is the hypotenuse. There's a terrible Y. Okay, hypotenuse. Okay, so you have that done. Now, in relation to this angle here, this side here is the opposite. Okay, and that makes this side on the bottom here the adjacent. Okay, there we go. That's how you label your triangle. Now, the importance of that is when it comes to using your trigonomic ratios, which are sine, cos, and tan. Okay, so your three trigonomic ratios, sine, cos, and tan. Now, so I'm sure you're aware, these all have their own formula, right? So, for cos and sine, it's both over the hypotenuse, that's in our red here, h and h, right? Now, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so opposite in our pink, opposite over hypotenuse, and cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, that's our A. Now tan's the odd one out, tan doesn't use the hypotenuse. Tan is opposite over adjacent, so adjacent and opposite, right? That's what you need to know to find sides. If you want to find angles, now when it comes to finding angles, you hear sine, cos, and tan, and see you need to use the shift key to change it to -1. You go shift and then sine, and it gives you -1, then brackets, and then you put in your values, close the brackets, and equate, and it gives you what the angle is. All right, that's how you find angles. Now make sure you're using the right side lengths. So you have your trigonomic ratios, make sure you're using the correct sides. Make sure you label your sides. All right, something else that you need to know is Pythagoras' theorem. So right angle triangle. Now Pythagoras can only be used on right angle triangles. All right, now with Pythagoras, the equation is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, I'm sure all of you are aware that c squared is your hypotenuse. So it's your longest side. It does not matter what you label the other two sides as long as you know. So this is always going to be c. This can be a or this can be b. You can do whichever way you like. Personally, I prefer to label the adjacent a because that just makes sense to my brain. If it doesn't work for yours, that's fine. Now, this is your standard formula for Pythagoras. If you need to find a or b, so one of the shorter sides, you rearrange this equation and it becomes this. C squared take b squared equals a squared, or c squared take a squared equals b squared. All right? That is what you need to know for Pythagoras. We're going to go over a worded question next. So this is a worded question that we're looking at. So a boat has an anchor rope of 55 meters. Boat drifts in the ocean current, so the rope makes an angle of 63 degrees with the surface of the water. Find the depth of the water and the point where the anchor lies on the bottom. First thing first, always draw a diagram. So we have part of a diagram there. So when we draw it, we're going to draw our line going down here. And then line across, line down to make a triangle, which I'm not great at drawing. Now we know from the diagram that this angle here is 63 degrees. And we know that this line here is given to us is 55 meters. Now, first thing to do is figure out which side they're asking for. Now it says, find the depth of the water at the point where the anchor lies on the bottom. Now in the diagram, the anchor is down here. In our diagram, that would be down here. So this is the bottom here. So we're looking for this side. So we mark that as x. Okay. Now, using a trigonomic ratio, so whichever one uses the hypotenuse and the opposite side, because it's opposite our given angle. That is what we use to find this length. So if you recall back to our So going back to our trig ratios, the one that uses opposite and hypotenuse is sine. So when we come here, we go, so you write out your formula first. Sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So a sine, now we're given the angle, it's over here. So a sine of 63 is equal to our opposite, which is unknown. So we put our x over the hypotenuse, which is 55. So sine of 63 is equal to x divided by 55. Now, we rearrange this. When you rearrange an equation, you invert the operation. So because it's x divided 55, if we times this whole thing by 55, it gets rid of the 55 down the bottom and brings it over to this side, which turns it into sine of 63 times 55 equals x. Punch that into your calculator, and that's your answer, and that will be in meters. Make sure you use the same units, and always write your units on your answer. Alright, so if it's meters or if it's degrees, like for an angle, make sure you use it. Alright, and that is all I have to say for you. I hope this helped. Good luck in your test tomorrow, and if you have a question, leave it in the comments. I will try to answer them before 11 o'clock tonight. If you're watching this after 11 o'clock, may God be with you.